Welcome, everyone. I want to thank Professor Farmer for explaining Barbara Love's Liberatory Consciousness Framework and how it works and how it's going to be used in our program. Today, I'm with Professors Jacquelynn Duran, DuWayne Battle, and Mark Lamar, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Liberatory Consciousness Framework and how it's used in our program. But before I have them speak, I want to talk to you a little bit about the new competencies that we have to ensure that liberatory consciousness is incorporated and used in our program. We have a generalist competency, which talks about social workers identifying how the development of a liberatory consciousness is really a precondition for engaging in effective liberation and social justice work. And then in the specialized competencies, we want to ensure that social workers are taking what they learned in the first year and then, according to Love, not only noticing what is going on in the world around them in the second year, but also thinking about it, theorizing about it, and also using that information to develop their own explanation for what is happening, why it's happening, and what needs to be done about it. That way, engaging in awareness, analysis, action, and accountability and allyship is always happening. So now I'm going to send it to DuWayne Battle, who's going to talk about how the Liberatory Consciousness Framework is used in diversity and oppression. Thank you, Professor Battle.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alessi. Good to be with you and my colleagues. And good to see all of you out there that are listening to this video. So you already know about the Liberatory Consciousness Framework, and I have the pleasure of working with colleagues as a course coordinator for our Diversity and Oppression course. It's one of the first classes that our MSW students take in the foundation year. And so it's really an introduction to much that has to do with social, racial, economic, and environmental justice. And early in that course, we introduce the Liberatory Consciousness Framework. You've already heard Dr. Farmer talk about the 4 A's of this framework. And so our students are given this framework so that they can use this as a lens through which they are able to become aware of new learning in our course. They can analyze the new learning. They can think about the necessary action steps to take. And then there's this accountability and allyship that they engage in. Dr. Alessi just spoke about competency 10. And so in our course, in the last assignment for the course, we measure competency around the Liberatory Consciousness Framework in an exercise that's identified as a social, racial, economic, or environmental justice activity. And it's a great assignment because it's a way for students to actually engage in social justice, racial justice, economic justice, environmental justice. And using this framework, they actually get to demonstrate their knowledge, values, and yes, their skills with this competency. So I'm excited about what we do with this in the Diversity and Oppression course, and our students seem to be really excited as well. And so now I have the pleasure of handing this over to Dr. Jackie Duron, who is going to be talking to us. And Dr. Duron is the one who actually helped us to identify Barbara Love at this framework. Thank you. Dr. Duron?
Thank you, Dr. Battle. So liberatory consciousness is integrated into our advanced clinical practice course in several ways, through readings, through assignments, and through discussions. Students are reading Dr. Barbara Love's text as an introduction to liberatory consciousness, and another text that complements the framework, one that's focused on cultural humility as an approach and process for facilitating strong working alliances between clinicians and diverse clients. In the classroom, we're providing instruction on how students can practice awareness, analysis, action, accountability, and allyship. And we're having ongoing discussions about implementing the framework. So these conversations have become part of many class discussions because one of the course assignments is a peer supervision presentation where students are presenting a case and a treatment or engagement dilemma. So in the process of facilitating case discussion, students are considering the linkages between their case and liberatory consciousness, including how the client's membership in an oppressed group might either contribute to or exacerbate the client's problem. And this has led to many insightful conversations about how structural and systemic inequities influence clients' environments, experiences, relationships, and overall well-being. So for example, in one of our recent class discussions, a student shared how one elementary school age child was having some behavioral issues. And as we talked about the case further, we considered how the child's race, history of child welfare involvement, socioeconomic status, and learning challenges led to discrimination because of assumptions that were being made, because of longstanding marginalization. So this student was able to meet the client's concerns for fairness because she was aware that there were more dynamics involved than simply the student's problematic behaviors. So she was able to practice awareness by noticing what was going on. And then she moved through analysis, action, accountability, and allyship by having meaningful conversations with her supervisor and engaging in a response to the situation. So overall, these efforts are facilitating students' awareness of discrimination, of reflexive practice, of cultural responsivity, and encouraging healing relationships that promote equity and justice. So now we want to look at how liberatory consciousness is being implemented in our practice placements, and I will turn this over to Professor Lamar.
Thank you, Professor Duran. Happy to be here to talk about this with you today. And in the way that my colleagues have already described, applying the liberatory consciousness framework to class, now what we want to be picturing is that we're exporting this to students in their field placement experiences. So regardless of the placement, whether it's generalist or MAP or clinical, what's accompanying them as learning objectives and learning opportunities, really this semester is the big launch for us. It was in September and will continue to be, are the learning, the liberatory consciousness framework aspects. And so how does that happen in field? In field, students at the very beginning of their semester construct what's called a learning contract, and they do that with their field instructor, anticipating what it is that over the course of the next 15 weeks of their semester, they'll be striving to get good at, to learn, to develop competency in. And the liberatory consciousness framework, very much as competency 10, appears in that learning contract. So they, for example, as evidence of their stepping into this and getting involved with this, will do several things. They'll be reading Dr. Love's article, and we've heard that that will be happening elsewhere too. Students are going to be, this will be something of an iterative process, and we'll see exposures in various parts of our school. But students will be reading Dr. Love's article, one of her primary articles on this, explaining the liberatory consciousness framework. And then students in their tasks with clients and with community activities, whatever it is they're doing in whatever setting, will be working on trying to apply and utilize and activate all of the aspects of the liberatory consciousness framework. This all then comes back to their weekly supervision with their field instructors and who have been involved with the development of the learning contract. And so we see over the course of the semester, students will be doing process recordings. Those are those written journals that reflect client interactions, or journals if they're in the MAP program. And they'll be expressing how they're working on, among other things, the liberatory consciousness framework and applying it, speaking with their field instructors about it. And this will occur pretty much nearly every week through the course of a semester. And it concludes, as our courses do, with final assignments. In this case, there will be a field evaluation, and the student will be evaluated on their ability to apply the framework. Have they been able to engage in the activities of the framework? Can they show that evidence that they worked with their field instructors, that they were able to bring what they said at the outset would be their learning goals, and made some of those manifest by the end of the semester? It's very exciting. We're very happy to be in this place. We thank Dr. Duran for bringing this to us with her colleagues, and looking forward to a good experience in field. And I'm going to pass it back now to Dr. Alessi.
Thank you, Professor Lamar. Thank you, Professor Duran and Professor Battle. I really want to thank you for also listening. Today was just a small snippet of what is to come with the infusion of liberatory consciousness into our MSW curriculum. Whether you are a generalist practice student in your first year or a clinical or MAP specialization student in the second year, you're going to hear much more about this framework and how it's being applied. It is an evolving process, and we look forward to going on this journey with you. Thanks very much, and see you soon. Bye.